What's up, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on YouTube? Dr. Drew. Today we're going to talk about why men who look for relationships are really insecure and weak. I know that's going to hit some of y'all real hard and you ain't going to like that, but let me explain. So, any man that's looking for something means that he's lacking it, right? So if you're looking for a woman in a relationship, it's because you lack it, right? You're in a lack mindset, okay? Men that can get laid, that can get women, don't look for relationships because relationships just happen. Do you see what I'm saying? To men that can easily attract women. You know, it's the men that can't attract women, that don't understand attraction and how attraction works. They don't understand women that aren't getting the relationships, right? And so they're upset about that. So they're looking for relationships. You guys are looking for relationships. You're looking for a marriage or commitment. Why? Because you're in a lack mindset. You don't have enough. You're not enough. That's why you're looking for it. Because men that are enough, they have it without looking for it. Men that have confidence don't go looking for relationships. Like I said, we don't look for that stuff. Like, I can get laid. I have clients, I have people that make it absolutely clear that they want me. I don't know why. I mean, I'm nothing special. I mean, look at my face, man. Like, look at my tooth. Like, I am nothing special. I ain't no Chad, believe me. But I have women, and good-looking women, that absolutely want my attention, but I don't want it. Do you see how that works? Like, I can get it. I don't want it. Why? Because I understand women. I don't need to have a relationship in order to get what I want from women, which is sex. That's why you gentlemen want a relationship with women, because you want sex. You want a family or kids, which means you want sex, right? You're looking for sex. That is a man's primitive biological behavior, period. He's looking for someone to procreate with, right? And you label it as relationship because, well, you don't know how to attract women to get women or get laid. So you think, because you've been manipulated already by other women trying to get you to commit to them, and by religion especially, goes against nature and goes against attraction, and then we wonder why Christian relationships don't work out in the long run either. And there's dead bedrooms all in Christian relationships, and or people that are unhappy. You know, my grandparents were together for over 50 years. They're Christians, by the way. They were together for 50 years and refused. The divorce was never an option. You know, they stayed married for 50 years, and for probably the last 10 to 15, they didn't even sleep in the same room, let alone the same bed. And you guys want that? That's the epitome of a couple losing attraction, not understanding that they lost attraction, don't know how to get it back, but then stupidly staying together and being miserable just for the sake of their own egos and pride and religion. Dumb, right? That, again, lack of understanding human nature. People don't understand human nature. You think you do, but you don't. You know, and don't get me wrong, it's coming back around. Men are starting to figure it out. Men are starting to figure out how manipulative women are, but you still don't really understand how manipulative women are, because if you did, you wouldn't want a relationship. Because monogamy is manipulation of men. I've talked about this in other videos. Monogamy and commitments are the manipulation and social castration of men to appease women's fragile egos. Why do they need commitments from men unless they're insecure? They need the security of a commitment from the man because they're insecure. Ding, ding, ding. If you're secure, same thing as a man. That's why men want commitment from women, because men are insecure. You all don't know how to keep the opposite sex attracted to you. It all has to do with attraction and seduction. Most men don't understand attraction and seduction, and most women don't understand how to keep men attracted long term because they have unrealistic expectations of men. But that's a whole other topic and a whole other video. We talk about that later. Now, women expect men to go against our natural proclivities for them and go against our natural biology of spreading our seed in as many women as we can. That's what we're naturally designed to do. They expect us to go against that for them. That is selfish and egotistical if I have ever heard anything. I'm not making an excuse for cheating. I'm just saying we shouldn't agree to monogamy ever. That way there would never be any cheating because you're not agreeing to not sleep with other people because you know your nature. See, that's why I won't ever agree to commitment with another woman ever again. I have women that are hitting me up. Absolutely. They get upset that I won't commit to them because their tricks, their manipulative tricks, and using that little snatch between their legs whittles men's confidence down. And they can, even if they find a man that says what I'm saying, I don't want a commitment, they will try to use, they're like, I'm going to see if I can get him. What they'll do is sneakily, they'll try to get you in the bedroom and use that thing down there to whittle you down to change your mind. That's their manipulative tendency. That's women's nature, right? Women have a nature, men have a nature. We both have certain biological and natural behaviors that we naturally do whether we want to or not. It's nature, it's biology. I talk about it all the time. It's like you can't expect a shark to be a dog, right? Well, that's what women expect of men. You're expecting you're expecting men, sharks, to be domesticated and have no teeth and to be docile sharks. And then you're swimming around in the ocean and you're easily, going through all these docile sharks and now you're all bummed out. Well, where's all the real sharks at, man? And this is definitely a Patrice O'Neill analogy. So if you recognize this, yes, I'm gonna plug him. I know R.I.P. guy, but you can't expect men to be anything other than men. But that's what women are doing. And then they're unhappy about it, that they've castrated men to not be men, and then wonder why they're unhappy about it. But then, if men act like men, they complain about that too. You see, gentlemen, why you shouldn't care what women want? You shouldn't care. I don't care what women want from me. I don't care. I do what I want, right? And that's what every man should do. You should have that confidence, and you should have that drive that you don't need a woman. What do you need a woman for? If you're confident and you can attract women and get laid by multiple women, which means you can have a baby with multiple women if you really wanted to, you can have a family. So what do you need marriage and commitment for? You're being manipulated to believe that you have to have those things in order to have a healthy, happy, stable family. No, you don't. You don't have to have any of those to have a happy, stable, healthy family. You have to keep your woman attracted to you and desiring you, which means you need to understand how women and attraction works. You have to understand what women are attracted to, and then you have to make sure that you keep doing that so that women want to stay with you long term to keep your family together. Do you see how that works? It has nothing to do with commitments. Commitments are only used because people don't know how to keep that attraction going. You see what I'm saying? And the same thing is on the women's side of it. They want commitment from men because they're insecure about how to keep men attracted to them long term because nobody understands how attraction works. You see what I'm saying? Nobody understands this stuff. It goes way over everybody's heads. Way over their heads. Like, it's not rocket science. It's pretty simple. Part of attraction, and a big part of attraction for you men, is confidence. Everybody's complaining that, feminism, screwed the dating market up. No, it didn't. The dating market's been screwed up ever since the dawn of time. Why? Because people are toxic and stupid and don't understand human nature. If you don't understand human nature, then you're going to expect the opposite gender to go against their nature, which is unnatural, right? And then you wonder when they revert back to their nature, then you get upset and hurt about it. And it's like, do you all even understand like the dumb fuckery and the mind fuckery y'all are doing to yourselves just by having those false expectations? Just a question. Now, I don't expect women to be loyal to me by her word. I expect her to be loyal to me because I make her feel things. And once I stop making her feel things, I expect her to leave me. I'm okay with that. I accept it. I accept women's nature. I'm not mad about it. I'm not demonizing it. I'm not saying, well, it should be this way. No, it's nature. It doesn't matter what I want it to be. It is what it is. A woman's nature is a woman's nature. I can want her to foolishly say with her words that she's going to be committed to me for the rest of her life. But we all know that that's not true, right? We all know that that's not how women operate now, right? But that's exactly what the Christian religion expects, is for women to go against their biological nature, loyal to their feelings, and they expect women to be miserable with their men, even though they're not attracted to them. They should stay in those relationships. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why would you as a man, or even as a woman, want to stay in a relationship that you're not having a good time in, that you're miserable in? I'm just saying, life is too short to be miserable for anybody. And that goes for you guys too, man. Like, if you're not happy with a woman, give her the boot, man. Well, no, I'll tell you what. Let her know you're not happy with her. Tell her what you want. And if she's not willing to do that, you're going to leave. But then you got to stand behind that. If she doesn't fall in line, kick her to the curb. If she does fall in line, cool. She's getting on your program, even better. You know, if she doesn't, find somebody who will. Women need to get on your program, man. The problem with you men is you don't understand, you're not attractive to women because you don't have a program. You're just going with the flow. And like, well, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Well, I don't know, whatever you want to. Hey, honey, where you want to eat? Well, I don't know. Why don't you pick something, hon? Well, I don't know, where do you want to eat? Well, I don't know, where do you want to eat? You know, like you guys are so indecisive. You don't know how to set dates. You don't know how to choose anything. You don't know how to lead. You know, and if you don't have a life, if you don't know how to lead, how are women going to be attracted to you? If you sit on your ass playing video games for more than 30 minutes a day, you're a loser. Real men don't sit on their butts playing video games for hours a day. I just had this conversation with a group of men that I'm frequently involved with pretty regularly. We talked about this subject right then and there, and we were laughing about it. You know, and these are all successful men. Me, I'm successful. I own my own business. I own my own home. I own my own property. You know, I own a car and truck. You know, like I'm successful. I only work 15 to 20 hours a week and I make $100K a year. I'm successful, right? Successful men. If you're successful, you know, like I can attract women too. I can get women, you know, but I don't want them. Don't get me wrong. I want women, you know, physically, but and I like to connect with them and I care about them, absolutely, but I don't want anybody ever moving into my house. That's a whole, and I'll never commit to any of them. I have a ton of love to give all women, you know, but anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm talking successful men. We just had this conversation about video games. These are all successful men just like me. We're in a group. We were laughing about how we don't have time to play video games. Why? Because we're building our freaking lives. We're building our freaking what we want in reality, you know? Little man boys, you sit on your little games, you know, playing little fake fantasy lands, you know, getting fake accolades from people you've never even met over the internet to gain fake confidence and achievements that have nothing to do with real life. You waste your time. You waste your valuable time on this earth. If you're a man, you need to be out building your life. We are all creators, right? I'm a creator of my life. You're a creator of your life. What have you created? What you're living in and sitting in right now is what you created. And it's your fault. Period. Men. Point blank. You can't expect to sit on your butt and just go to a 9-to-5 job working for somebody else, making them rich, and for you to get ahead. Like, you're literally an idiot thinking that. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just tough love here, man. I care about you, right? Life's all about information. And if I lie to you, then I'm giving you false information that you're going to take and make decisions on. And then you're basically making decisions on lies, false information. So, which means Your whole reality is going to be a lie because you're making decisions on lies. That's why I'm not going to lie to you. You're a loser sitting on your ass playing video games all the time. Stop it. You need to get out a pen and paper, start journaling, figure out what you want to do in life. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to build? If you could build any business, what would you build? You know, if you had your own business. Here's a good question I like to ask people. And I was actually talking about this with another buddy of mine the other day, and he was so excited about this question, thought it was awesome. So the question is, if you had all the money in the world and money wasn't an issue, you didn't need to work to pay your bills and provide for your lifestyle, but you mandatorily had to work a 20-hour part-time job doing anything in the world you wanted to do, what would it be? You could choose anything you want, and money's not an issue. You're not doing it for money, you're doing it because you want to, right? Because you don't need to work, but you're required to work 20 hours a week at least. You know, could be doing anything you want. Money's not an issue. You don't need money. What would you be doing? Now, you need to figure that out, and then you need to go do that. And you need to figure out how to make money doing it. And if you haven't figured that out, well, you shouldn't be playing video games. I'm just saying, you're not spending enough time creating your life. And that's why you're miserable. And that's why you're watching YouTube videos on how to do things and how to better yourself. Well, and look, don't get me wrong. I shouldn't be shaming anybody for that. You know, that's wrong. We all have work to do. I have work to do. I have a ton of work to do. You know, but that's why I'm having these videos, because I'm self-aware about it. A lot of people aren't self-aware about it. They're like, I know, you know, women are just a problem. Oh, you know, feminism is just a problem. No, it's not. You as men are the problem. You are your own problem, and you are your only solution. Okay? Your knowledge, you're missing some knowledge. You have a knowledge gap. You don't understand attraction and seduction. And once you understand attraction, seduction, and how to get yourself to a confident level in your life to where you know you can attract women, you won't care about relationship or family. Trust me, you won't. Because you'll be attracting women, and you'll want to be pushing them away. You know, like women do with us men, right? They get so much, they get men coming at them from all angles, right? That they have to push men away, right? Imagine if you as a man got to experience that from women. You had women coming at you from all angles. How many of you have ever experienced that? I guarantee you maybe one or two of you, maybe three. Most of you are clueless and have never had that happen. Guess what? I have that happen. Even now. Yes, I have women coming to me from all angles. Absolutely. And I don't want them. Yes, they're physically beautiful. I'd love to sleep with them, sure. But, you know, that's it. I don't want a commitment from them. And I'm not going to sleep with a woman who expects commitment from somebody and knowing I'm not going to give it to her, because that's wrong, right? I don't need to lie to get women. I don't need to lie to women to get laid. I don't need to manipulate them to get laid. I am completely honest about everything that I do and what I want. And they're either going to give it to me or they're not. If they're not, if they do, awesome. Heck yeah. Great. Cool. You know, let's have some fun. If not, well, next. I'm going to find somebody that will. Why? Because I'm confident in myself. I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for anyone. Somebody else will come along in life. There's millions of women in the world. Why worry about one? Why attach yourself to just one that's trying to manipulate you against your natural proclivities as a man, just so that you can have kids? Again, you're being manipulated by believing that you have to do that. And this is how deep the manipulation goes in society, and how for so long men have subtly been manipulated. Any woman that says she won't give men sex, which is love, that's physical love, is that's what sex is. It's physical love. Any woman who refuses to give a man that she's attracted to and wants to give that love to, but withholds it in order to get a relationship from him, she's being manipulated. That's manipulation. That's why I say the Christian religion is manipulative. And people are too stupid to even understand how. Because Christian religion says don't give your body to a man until you're committed. So you're withholding sex and love. You're withholding love in order to get something. That's pure manipulation. You know, the fact that men are so stupid and can't see that is incredibly sad. It's incredibly sad. Because you're being manipulated against your own manhood, against your own natural proclivities as a man, by agreeing to social castration and monogamy and commitments. You're literally agreeing to not be a man by accepting those. You are accepting a woman's manipulative terms by agreeing to self-castration and monogamy. Absolutely. It's not in your nature. It's not. Because if it was, then how come when you're in a relationship with a woman, you still look at and desire to sleep with other women? If they were to give you the time of day, you and I know you'd still do it. That's why men cheat, because most men can't intentionally attract women. Some men can, but most men accidentally attract women, and most men, when they're in marriages or relationships, they accidentally attract other women, and then that woman throws themselves at him. And of course, he's gonna be like, heck yeah. And then his wife finds out, girlfriend finds out, and boom. Oh, well, there's another cheater. Well, dude, yes, all men are potential cheaters. Why? Not all men are cheaters. I'm saying all men are potential cheaters. I have personally never cheated on a woman in my life that I've given my commitments to, even though I wanted to many, many times. That's what I'm saying, is even though I was in a relationship with a woman and I loved her, absolutely, loved the heck out of her, I still wanted to sleep with other women. I never did, but I wanted to. And I had it thrown in my face. Absolutely. I never acted on it because I'm a man of my word. But I wanted to. That's my whole thing. So I castrated myself in the moment, and I was miserable for my girlfriend's ego and for her own security. That's not love. Like, any woman who expects you to do that for her doesn't love you. That's my whole point. You guys can mind screw yourselves and manipulate yourselves to believe that, oh, well, sacrificing yourself for a woman, that's love. That's true love. No, it's not. That's stupidity. You're here on this earth one time. So you mean you're going to be miserable for every woman that you claim to love? You're in for a really sad life, man. And you're going to be a slave and manipulated for every woman just for some snatch. That's what I'm saying. You're weak. That's my whole point, right? You guys need to understand this stuff, right? Like, y'all aren't thinking about this. Like, let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Anyways, yeah. So, guys, get off your ass and stop playing those video games, man. It's lame shit, man. Lame. All right, go out and build your life. Go build your business. Go build your house. Go build a freaking car. Go build, build whatever it is. But build something in real life. Whether it's a computer, well, don't build any computers. We have enough technology. We don't need any more fucking computers. Go build something with your freaking hands that doesn't involve technology. Go build it out in the world, in the real world, in reality. See, that's what I'm saying. You guys hate your lives so much, the reality you've created, by the way, that you want to escape it into a video game fantasy land. That's freaking losers. That's the epitome of a loser. You hate your life so much you want to escape it and go into a fantasy land? Like, ding, 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 here's your sign. Get off your shit, man. Like, I'm not against video games. I'm against people playing video games. Like, I don't care if I'm against men playing video games. Sure, there's tons of immature boys. You want to be an immature boy? Go ahead, play some video games. You want to be a man? Get off the video games. Go build your life. That's the difference between men and boys. Boys play little games. Men, we go build our lives. Like, I know. I've spent many years building mine, and that's why I get attention from women, because it's attractive. I'm ambitious. I built my life. I'm confident in myself. Why? Because I built my life. I built my business from the ground up. I'm celebrating 10 years of being in business, self-employed this year. That's a phenomenal achievement, right? They say if your business succeeds the first 5 years, then it's going to succeed, right? Well, I've doubled that now. So I double know it's going to succeed, which gives me more confidence in myself. You see how that works? So I don't go looking for relationships. I don't need to. I'm confident. I know that I can talk to women and attract them just by talking to them. Seduction and attraction is not a choice. Women either feel it for you, and gentlemen, you can cause them to feel it for you, or they don't feel it for you because you do a piss poor job of making them feel anything. That's what attraction is. Feelings. You make women feel things, and not just feel love. You give women emotion, any emotion. Piss her off. That's an emotion. I love pissing women off. I think it's hilarious. Which pisses them off even more, which works in my favor still. Why? Because they see this guy like, fuck, I can't stand this guy. He's so arrogant. He's a cocky SOB, blah, 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 blah. I hate him. But meanwhile, under the surface, that's on the surface. She's angry, right? But under the surface, that snatch is wet as hell. Because it's passion. I triggered her. I started a fire inside her. You see what I'm saying? I didn't do what every other guy does and go, oh, you're so pretty. Oh, hey, what's up? Oh, hey, can I take you out sometime? No, I was like, fuck you, bitch. Okay, you look like your breath stinks. You know what I mean? Like, that, it sounds mean, sure. And to weak, sensitive people, yes, it's actually absolutely going to be mean. Absolutely. But to me, and to women that understand the social cues, it's banter. And or they're going to take me seriously and really get pissed off, which is fine because, again, it's still how attraction works. Either way, I win. Either A, I attract her, B, I don't attract her and I don't care, or C, I don't attract her, I don't care, and she doesn't care. I still win. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't care. I don't go around trying to get women or trying to get relationships. I go around saying and doing whatever the fuck I want to around anybody, men or women. Dude, I make fun of men all the time too. What do you think I've been doing on this video? Like, I do it in real life. Absolutely. I call people out on their crap all the time. And I expect people to call me out on my crap. But just because I'm calling you out on your crap doesn't mean I have crap that needs to be called out. See what I'm saying? People that get angry at the truth and get butthurt at the truth are weak and insecure people. Like, if somebody was to tell me something I did wrong, I'm gonna know that I did it because I'm a pretty self-aware dude, and I'm gonna be like, yep, you know what, I did that. I'm gonna cop to it right there. I'm not gonna gaslight. I'm not gonna bitch and moan and cry and I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm gonna be like, yep, you know what, I was right. You're right. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Because I have no problem admitting my mistakes. Why? Because I'm a confident dude. People make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Not even me. Not even confident people. But it's insecure people that are perfectionists. It's insecure and weak and fragile people that can't take accountability and can't have the spotlight shown on them, the mirror held up, because they don't have the self-awareness or the self-reflection or the honesty about their own crap behavior to admit fault. And that's a lot of men and women, not just women. There's a lot of men too. A lot of men watching this. That's what I'm saying is, too many men are fragile, man. You're fragile, bro. Like that, and women can see it. That's why you don't get laid or get attention from women. That's why I do, because I ain't fragile. You can call me, the worst names in the book, and I'm gonna laugh in your face. Why? Because I know it's not true. Because I know who I am. I know where I come from. I know what I'm all about. I know I'm a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what anybody says about me, because I know it. Whatever they're saying, they're just hating because they don't like the reflection I'm putting up to them about themselves. They can put the reflection up to me all they want, and I'm gonna be like, yep, that's me right there. That's right. I'm squeaky clean. Judge me all you want. Only weak and insecure people lament and complain about people judging them, because they can't stand the truth about themselves. They can't stand it because they lack accountability. They lack maturity. They lack self-reflection. Like, it really is that simple. I don't care if people judge me. Judge me all you want. I know exactly what I'm doing, where I'm going in life. I guarantee I'm doing better than most people. You know, I'm happier, healthier, more financially set than most people are in this life. Absolutely. You know, I'm not rich by any means, but I'm not poor either. You know, and I'm happy, and I don't have any problems. I don't have any drama. You know, I don't have any problems. I got 0 problems, and a woman ain't one either. You know, like, and I'm still getting laid. So, you know, if I'm doing something wrong, how am I doing something wrong and still getting the attention from women? You see what I'm saying? You gentlemen that are looking for relationships, you're in a lack mindset. You're being weak, all right? You need to stop focusing on getting women and start focusing on bettering yourself and learning about women and learning about attraction and seduction, because it is a process. It's a subtle process. You can have a conversation with a woman on the surface. Hi, how are you doing? How's your day going? Oh, that's cool. What'd you do today? Blah, 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 blah. That's the conversation that's going on the surface. But what's going on underneath is the art of subtle attraction and seduction. And if you don't understand that, you're going to fail with women your whole life. Guaranteed. Because you don't understand the subtleties of what's going on under the surface. You don't understand the language that's being spoken without words, with energy. You don't understand it because, well, you're clueless. And most men are clueless because you're socially unaware. You don't know what's going on under the surface. You just see surface level communication. Hi, bye, yes, no, good, bad. Like, that's all surface level. Like, you got to understand the subtleties of attraction in women and how to do that with women. You know, like, or else you're going to fail with them all. It doesn't matter if you find a good one or not, feminism or not. She's going to leave you. Why? Because you didn't make her feel shit. Or you did accidentally, and then later on, you didn't know how to keep it up, and then she's cheating on you and or leaving you. That's not her fault for being a bad woman. That's your fault for not understanding how to keep her desire for you. See what I'm saying? I take responsibility for the women leaving my life. Either I kick them out, or I accidentally make them lose attraction for me. But either way, it's my fault. You know, I'm the one in the wrong. And most men that aren't good with women, they can't take that accountability. That's why you're not good with women. It is what it is. You know, women aren't, they're not some enigma. They're actually pretty simple. They're just emotional creatures. So give them emotions. You want to attract them? Give them emotions. And don't be a freaking pushover. Know how to set boundaries. Learn how to say no. Learn how to piss them off and not care. Learn how to not care when they try to throw their emotions back in your face or your emotions in your face. You know, that's manipulative behavior. I've talked about that in other videos. You need to go check out some other of my videos if you haven't seen those talking about that. You know, anytime a woman tries to shame you with her emotions or your emotions to get you to change your mind or change your behavior, that's manipulation. Point blank, period. They'll say subtle things like, I can't believe you'd make me feel that way. That's manipulative. Absolutely. Yeah, your emotions as a woman are your freaking problem. You're an autonomous adult, right? It's not a man's job to make you feel anything. You know, men are not responsible for women's emotions. Women are adults, right? They should be, right? This is why I agree with feminism. I agree that women should pay for themselves. I agree that they should buy their own houses. I agree that they should live in and pay their own bills, pay their own lifestyles. Absolutely. You're an adult. I love it. Absolutely. About time. Which means you don't need to rely on me to pay for you as if you're a toddler, right? You're not a toddler, are you? Women aren't toddlers, are they? They're not children, right? So why should any man pay for you as an adult? You know, that's why I agree with feminism. Absolutely. I love feminism. You know, it freed men from commitments too. That's what I was saying. But again, too many insecure men that don't understand attraction and seduction are looking for commitments because you're weak. That's why y'all hate feminism. If you understood attraction and seduction and knew how to get laid in what's going on right now, You wouldn't care about feminism. You'd be like, heck yeah, you'd have the same viewpoint I would. You see what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, the cold, hard reality and fact of the matter is that you don't understand attraction and seduction, which is why you hate feminism as a man, because you don't know how to get women. And feminism works even more against you as a man if you don't understand attraction and seduction. And ladies, you can agree with me here. I know you are. I know you're going like, damn, this dude knows. This dude knows. And I know that that's what you're saying, because women tell me that in real life all the time when I talk to them about this stuff. Because I openly talk about attraction and seduction with women, and they agree with me. They're like, damn, man, I can't get nothing by you. They try to. They try to manipulate me. They try to think they can out psychologically mind fuck me about all this stuff, but they can't. They think they can, and then when I catch them and I'm like, nope, they're like, damn it, and they start laughing and stuff. It's hilarious, man. Like, and they all, every single one I've talked to in real life about this topic and subject, always agrees with me, because it's just facts. It's nature, man. It's logical, I know that every single woman watching this is going to agree with my assessment that most men do not understand attraction and seduction. Most men don't. Point blank, period. It has nothing to do with six-pack abs, a 6-figure income, or being 6 feet tall. And if that's what you think, again, you're a freaking loser as a dude. You're clueless. Like, I'm not even 6 feet tall. How come I attract women? I don't make 6 figures a year. How come I attract women? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't even have 6-pack abs. I don't have 6-pack abs. I'm not 6 feet tall, and I've never made 6 figures except for last year. But I've been sleeping with women since I was 12 years old, guys. I've slept with more women in my life than I can count on both hands. Multiple times. I can't even count anymore how many women I've slept with. Not that it's not a notch in my bedpost thing. That's not why I'm saying that. I'm telling you that so that you know that I know about attraction and seduction, because I do. I wouldn't have been able to sleep with that many women if I didn't know, Like, it wasn't an accident, believe me, guys. Accidents don't happen, more than 30, 40, 50 times. It's intentional at that point. You see what I'm saying? So you guys can trust what I'm saying, but you got to get it through your heads that any of you guys expecting monogamy from women, you don't understand women. Women are only loyal to their feelings. And if you don't know how to trigger a woman's feelings and keep her in those feelings, she will always leave you. It doesn't matter if you find a good one or not. Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddha, whatever religion, whatever spirituality, whatever zodiac sign, it doesn't matter. Any woman in the world, if you don't understand attraction and seduction, how to keep her emotions triggered, you will lose her. Any of them. She will cheat on you and or divorce you. You have to understand attraction and seduction. So, anyways, that's what I got for you today. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you didn't, well, tell me what you thought in the comments below. Tell me if it sucked. Tell me if it didn't. Let me know how long you've been wanting and wishing for the perfect woman to come into your life and sweep you off your feet and give you babies. Go ahead, put it in the comments. Tell me how much of a cuck you are. Just kidding. Come on, guys, smarten up, man. That's all I want y'all to do. That's why I'm making these videos. I'm making them because I care about you. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for y'all. Like, I already know this information. I've said it in other videos. I already know this stuff. I live it. I don't need to learn it. I'm trying to help you all to not be so miserable, to stop blaming women because you guys are idiots. Like, that's what it boils down to. Like, I go out in the real world and I see it all the time. I see guys that are clueless and blaming women. And it's like, well, dude, what are you doing? Like, can you purposefully attract women? Do women fawn over you? Do you have preachers' wives trying to screw you? Do you have clients trying to screw you? You see what I'm saying? Like, do you have multiple women trying to screw you? If you don't, then you have no room to talk, and you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to women. Period. It is what it is. So just be better, man. This isn't a knock. It's just, look, we all have had to learn in life. I had to learn this stuff too, and I had to learn the hard way, and it sucked. I went through some really, really painful years trying to figure this stuff out. Dealing with heartbreak and trying to be the nice guy, and if I just do this or say that, or it's like, no, that stuff never works. When you try to get a woman, you don't get women. When you stop trying to get women and just be yourself and don't give a fuck about women, they flock to you because you don't give a fuck. You don't want them. It's the abundance mentality versus the lack mentality. When you don't have women and you want them, I want a woman so bad. But that desperation, that energy repels women away from you. They can smell it like sharks can smell blood in the water from a mile away. They can smell that desperation and insecurity just in your energy by how you talk to her, in your tone of voice, in your body language, in those subtleties. Like without her even thinking about it, she already knows she wouldn't sleep with you. So you guys got to understand that stuff. So that's all I'm saying. Just, you got to learn. And, I'm trying to help out, but, falls on deaf ears because people don't want to be better. You don't think you know everything. You think you got it all figured out. You think it's all women's problem. No, it's not. Your lack of getting laid and getting attention from women is your problem. Absolutely. Point blank period. So once you figure that out and accept it, life gets a little better. Ladies, once you figure out and accept that men are not naturally monogamous by nature and stop expecting us to be, you'll be a lot happier too, because you won't have false expectations, unrealistic expectations. Your expectations hurt you. Men don't hurt you. Your unrealistic expectations hurt you. Point blank period. Same thing with men. Unrealistic expectations of women hurt men. You're expecting women to be loyal to their feelings. That's not how women naturally operate. Women naturally operate being loyal to their feelings. And you as men don't know how to trigger women's feelings on purpose. So you expect them to be loyal to their word, which is stupidity. You see what I'm saying? So each gender is expecting the other one to go against their nature to be with them, but then wonder why they always revert to their other energy and why they revert back to their base nature, and then they try to demonize them for it. People are so toxic and screwed up, y'all have no idea what you're doing. It's so freaking hilarious, man, and yet so pathetic at the same time. So I'm trying to shine a light on this stuff because it's really simple. It really is. It ain't, back in the day, dudes didn't care about relationships. They were doing their own thing. That's why they got women. It's why women were attracted to them, because they were worried about building their lives. Nowadays, men aren't built. You're not worried about building anything. You're worried about, let me go to work. Okay, I'm done at work. Let me punch out. Let me go home. All right, I'm gonna get some dinner. I'm gonna sit on my ass, play some video games, drink some beer. You're a fucking loser, man. That is a loser, dude. Just saying. A dude that's a winner, he's gonna be excited to go to work because he loves his job, loves what he does for a living. He's confident in himself. When he gets home, when he gets off work, he's going to look forward to doing other stuff and building his life more. When I get home, I look for what I can improve on my house. Like, I was changing out the door hardware, strike plates, doorknobs, latches, door hinges, all that stuff, until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning the other night, just because I wanted to. Right? Meanwhile, you guys would probably be sitting on your fat asses playing video games all night, like losers. You see what I'm saying? I'm building my life in the real world. You're building your virtual fake reality in a fake virtual world, and then wonder why women aren't attracted to you. If this isn't your sign, I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't. Anyways, I'm just trying to help. Look, I know this is tough love. I'm just saying, y'all got to get with the program. I know you didn't have daddies around to teach you this stuff, so it is what it is. So anyways, that's all I got. Talk to y'all in the next one. Peace out.